Still threatened by the Titans that rob them of their freedom, mankind remains caged inside the two remaining walls. Efforts to eradicate these monsters continue. However, threats arise not only from the Titans beyond the walls, but from the humans within them as well, that will allow them to push forward into hopefully retaking back the walls and discovering secrets about the basement. Relatively simple way to sum up Attack on Titan Season 3 in a nutshell. But hey guys, what's going on? Lucky Cheese 7 is back again to give you guys another Attack on Titan podcast. I mean, which is funny when I say that because it's only been 2 years? 2? Yeah, I think it's been 2 years. Yeah, 2 years, 2.5 years since Season 2 created. Again, there that much time had passed by. You would have thought, hey, maybe by the time Season 3 ends, we'll do the podcast. Which, if you look at it, it's like, I was last year. So, why take so long? Let me just say this right now. When it came to that, a final season trailer came out, which we'll talk about that when we do. And 3, I was like, I gotta talk about this because Season 3 is something. But before y'all ask, no, I'm not doing these podcasts by myself. I mean, why would I? Why would I do that? Just be in here by myself like every other YouTuber when I could just be sitting here and talking about a series with a buddy or a friend. So I've brought with me a special friends, reword myself, special friends, special guests. Go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Me. Me. What? I'm sorry. Hello, everyone. BlueStarSaber here. I am here to once again for another Attack on Titan podcast. Even though it's like 4 a.m. here my time because of how late Lucky Cheese made me come up to do this.
It's not the first time you've done it.
Yes, but I'm now looking for jobs, Lucky Cheese. Gosh darn it! I can't keep doing this.
Also, this guy, our friend Blue Star, is an avid My Hero Academia fanboy, also known as the Cursed Child.
Okay, one for the record, I'm not that much of a big deal of a My Hero Academia fanboy. I'm more of a One Punch Man fanboy. And 2, let's see, would you stop calling me that? Gosh damn it! I can't even raise my voice. I don't want to disturb my neighbors.
Yes. Well, after the long, short rants, I guess, it's me, Sparda3g. It's been quite some time. I mean, look at what's happening outside the world. You sure know what's going on. Pretty much just where we at. Been doing my time doing things, but I decided to come back because I actually don't want to miss this, and it's actually feels pretty good to be here once again after such a long time.
Since March, I think. Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, so it actually feels good to be here again.
Right.
But yeah. Unfortunately, tragic news happened with Marvel fans just recently.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate thing. It's not just that though. It's also with basketball too. From the basketball players.
Okay. Also, I believe it's also been Ishiyama, the author of Attack on Titan's birthday recently as well.
Yes, that which I was just about to say. Also, on the special occasion, it's Hajime Isayama's birthday. So, happy birthday! I think he's 30.
Okay, is this what? Let's see. I have no idea, but is this why you delayed the podcast for 1 week, Lucky Chi?
Actually, no. I didn't even realize that his birthday was coming up. Like it wasn't until I looked at Twitter and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny actually.
The only other occasion I can think of in Japan that's happening right now is apparently its prime minister is now stepping down.
Hmm.
But yeah, but let's see. But let's not get into that.
Nope. But yeah, I just looked it up. Yeah, he's 34 now, so I hope you had a fantastic birthday, Isayama Sensei, and keep on pushing through. Because, wow. Well, that's manga talk. Well, we'll get to that when we get to that when the series ends. But season 3. Man, oh man, oh man.
It honestly feels like 2 seasons, actually.
Well, this is how I look at it, because you could argue season 1's the same way, because you got the entire first half of season 1 being the focus of the Trost arc, and then the second half being the female Titan arc, and it's kind of like a repeat of that, where the first half of this is the Uprising arc, and then the last half is the Return to Shingashina arc. So it kind of mirrors that in a way.
Does make me wonder if they should, instead of doing like 25 episodes to begin with, they should have done 13 episodes for 2013, another 12 episodes for 2014, then season 2, then what was season 2 for 2016, and then let's see the first half of season 3 as season 4 for 2018, and then the second part of season 3 as season 5 for 2019. Because let's just face it, those 4-year-long years of absence of Attack on Titan between season 1 and season 2 probably hurt the franchise a bit.
See, I can understand that, and I think would it have been better? Sure, but I don't think they expected Attack on Titan to do as well as it did. That's the other thing.
Well, yeah, it's become such a global-wide phenomenon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, granted, the momentum probably died down a bit due to the fact that you had that long years of absence.
Yeah. Like, I think at most, and I think you mentioned this back in the season 2 podcast, but I do think like maybe 2015, 2016 should have been the date.
In many ways, it felt like people were waiting for a movie to come out, a sequel to a movie to come out, not a second season.
Well, I think what didn't help was the fact that it was only just the Clash of the Titans arc.
Fair enough.
Well,
that too. Levi fans had to wait another season before they got their boy back.
Well, okay.
I'm making a joke there.
I was going to say, which in hindsight, I guess does kind of work, because melding the Uprising arc and melding the Return to Shinganshin arc actually does kind of flow better from a season standard. So,
yeah. Now, granted, they still split into 2 years. Well, granted, I suppose that they should be glad that Game of Thrones didn't do a 4-year absence with its final season. Could you imagine people waiting 4 years and they get that season final?
You know, one of those fans was Isayama himself. He was like, "What?"
Oh, wait. So is it known what he? So wait, his thoughts on the final season were known. Okay.
You know, like he was like, we waited all that time, and that's what we're getting.
Well, now you just gotta wait for the see when George R. R. Martin finally releases those dang books.
It's funny because I just want to add this, but this was like, it wasn't that long ago, but he had an interview, right? And he talked about like, I remember how Game of Thrones fans felt, like myself included, about like how disappointing it was with Game of Thrones, and that's something he doesn't want to do with Attack on Titan, which is pretty funny.
Funny enough, you speak of it. I actually looked at Attack on Titan Wikipedia. Apparently, his original ending was everyone was gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he's changed that now because I think people will quite a few people are fond of his characters now.
I've looked into that. Instead of it being like super, super dark, he mentioned that it's going to be like bittersweet. Which, if you think about Attack on Titan, it is fitting for a series like that.
You can't really do a happy ending with Attack on Titan. That's something more like One Piece let's see, Fairy Tail. And I can't say Naruto because Naruto ended badly.
You got the happy ending, like, hey, pair up everyone at the end. Yay. It's kind of jog my bad memories.
Yeah, yes, let's move on.
Those doors and the chains around that are sealed, so I'm not bringing that up.
Okay, but anyway, let's get to the main point.
Yeah, let's get to the main point of this. So when it came to the end of season 2, or even like during season 2, because I remember when season 2 was like close to wrapping up, a lot of people were like, "We're gonna wait another 4 years for season 3." And
it turned out they ended up waiting just 1 year.
Yeah, like, well, here's the thing. See, unlike most people, I actually really dig the Uprising arc. So it was an arc I was looking forward to. The thing is that arc was different in a way. Like, it took the narrative in an approach where I was like, okay.
I think most people, let's see, don't like it because of the lack of Titans.
See,
at least in the first half.
Well, no, and I understand that, but I thought it actually helped the series a lot because of character growth and whatnot. But
I suppose one general positive is that no major character died in that arc except for villains introduced. So yeah.
But to just summarize like what my expectations were for season 3, I kind of had my feelings that like, okay, maybe maybe the Uprising arc, just because of how I remember the reaction being in the manga, it was like, okay, I don't expect that one getting as many praises, but I can definitely see Return to Shingashina getting a lot. And when it came to my expectations, I was like, all right, cool. But then, when that little teaser came out with like all the volume covers and they showed 22, I was like, oh, they're gonna show that.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Personally, I thought they were going to just do. I thought the next season would be 30 episodes, given how long the Uprising arc was.
I know Isayama said that it was a more streamlined version of the arc.
They cut out quite a few bits and rearranged them in other parts as well.
Yeah, they did that, which, I mean, we'll get to the overall thoughts of season 3 when we do, but it was interesting to say the least. But it's like, expectations was, I was like, all right, cool, we're getting Attack on Titan, we're getting, I mean, everyone thought it was going to be 24 episodes, which, off by 2. So, for me, when it came to the 3rd season, like, I knew this was going to be the game changer. Because at this point in the series, characters started to develop. Like, you guys want to talk about breaking tropes, like, season 3 was the one to do it. In many ways that I haven't seen a lot of other...
In many ways, it's pretty much, let's see, Ishiyama doing what Kishimoto probably should have done with the K11 at this point. Series.
Yeah, which I'll make my only reference to Naruto for this. Yeah, like, you want to talk about characters being involved, like, and you see, even then, like, it's not like they were abandoned in other arcs. Like, they've always been there, which has been one of the strongest highlights.
Yeah, though, granted, let's see, I will say some of the characters, let's see, take a very long absence, so only really major for one arc. I'm referring to, of course, Marco, Yuma, and Annie. And to an extent, Bertolt.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah. So, I'll just say this, coming off from season 2, like, I was really looking forward to season 3 because of, like, a lot of, like, the big stuff that was going to happen. I was like, ooh, that's... Like, people thought season 2 was crazy. Season 3, I was like, nah. Season 3 has a lot more to tell than what season 2 was going to do. I mean, much respect to the reveal of the Armor Titan and the Colossal Titan, but as far as, like, from what I remember in the manga, it was going to take it to another level, for sure. But, Blue, what about you? Like, what were your expectations, like, coming off from season 2, going into season 3?
Okay, I expected like at least 2-year gap because it seemed to be that what Attack on Titan was doing. I was quite surprised when 2018 happened. I expected I wondered if like they were gonna do this, just do the Uprising arc since let's see as just one season because it was so big. I mean, you could have done like 15 to 20 episodes depending on how you paced it, I guess. Granted, I wasn't really following up on the news dates and stuff, so I was pleasantly surprised when we ended up getting like the volume cover for was it 24? Yeah, it was
22.
24.
It was 22. 22 was
22. So yeah. I thought, okay, this is like okay, so that's going to do here, and then let's see. So seasons 4 is going to be the final, just the entire time skip stuff. Okay, spoilers, manga spoilers, by the way. Sorry, they're going again. I think that might have been implied if you've seen the season 4 trailers by now.
mean, yeah, like I think people are already aware that okay, yeah, there's like some time had passed by, so they're aware. And at this point, it's not a surprise that some time has passed by since the end of season 3.
Granted, I ended up watching season 3 briefly, like the first few episodes for a bit. Then I did a hiatus. Then I tried to rewatch it, go further in the hiatus, and then you told me about this podcast, so I had to binge watch the entire season. I wish you told me sooner so I could plan it out a bit more, just so I could also rewatch it again.
This is how we deal with My Hero fanboys, guys. They favor My Hero over everything else. I'm joking, Blue.
Let's see, for the record, well, yes, I am a fan of My Hero Academia, and yes, I tend to keep up with that anime. Let's see, more often than most others. The only exception was being One Piece with the Wano arc, and back in the day when I was a Naruto fanboy, I would even watch the damn fillers. Oh, how much regret I have of that now. Let's see, but yes. So yeah, I ended up binge watching it, and yeah, I must admit, I'm surprised at how much they've rearranged with like the first half of the season.
Yeah, we'll get into that like when we talk about like comparisons between the anime and the manga. But I'll say this: it kind of hurt it, and it kind of like it had its improvements, but it was kind of detrimental too.
Yeah,
like some of the character pieces, but
But yeah, I suppose I was looking forward to seeing the season. Right, I was also curious to see how anime watchers would react to it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm a bit surprised about some of the recent controversies with the season. Towards the second half, with its revelations and the stuff that's recently gone on in manga. But perhaps that'll be a discussion for another day. And for most part, I'd say, well, I'm not sure the first half met my expectations. I definitely say the second half did. So, For Life, you wanted to say your expectations for this season?
Expectation for the third season?
Yeah, what you're expecting.
Yeah, what were your expectations for season 3? Like coming off from season 2?
Pretty much the same level as season 2, just anticipated. But I was a little concerned about the Uprising arc. Don't get me wrong, I do like that arc in its normal form, the original form, pretty much the manga, with everything intact. I just think it probably would take too long to get to the point, because that was one of the drawbacks from the manga. It takes a while to get to the point of this build up, this world building, and this the side of the government and all that stuff. Like they still cover that, but it didn't go like it's
They didn't
like
go in depth with it.
It's like Death Note in a sense. Like I do recall, like I think there was an episode that was pretty much a volume length episode. I'm not sure if I get the wrong series, but I do remember that one paced it really differently compared to the manga, because the manga, it was a lot of dialogues, a lot of words, text, wall of text, and then the anime covered that in one swoop, and it actually felt better, at least in my opinion, it did. But with Attack on Titan, I didn't know if they was gonna do the same thing. Turns out Izuyama felt the same way as all of us. Well, not all of us. Many of people who actually had that complaint. Like, oh, this is like kind of a little dull. I mean, it's still a good arc, but it's a little dull because there's a lot of dialogue, a lot of texting.
It takes a while before like really kicks off. I think that's the biggest thing when it came to like the manga, especially like from a monthly standpoint too. Because I remember like reading it for months and like it was good in the beginning, but I think like that middle section was where it was like, hey, you know what? Maybe you're going a little too slow.
Right. It was doing a lot of talking and a lot of discussion here and there. And it's like, I don't get your point. Basically, I'm saying this. Oh, okay. pictures of it a long time ago. But yeah, that's what Izuyama. When I heard Izuyama took over, well, not completely, but he is looking after the season 3 part 1. It was interesting. So I got better expectation, and sure enough, when we see the result, I actually like it a lot. I mean, I still like the manga content. Some part I wish it was still in the anime, but the additional scenes they're pretty damn cool, and that was all
Yeah,
Izuyama. So because
yeah.
I remember one notable one was the Kenny one, which is funny in the manga because it was like
You know
I'll
what
be
I
right
really
back.
wanted in the manga? I remember that.
Yeah, in the manga it was like I'll be right back, and then he come back a little bit later, but it's all messed up in a bit. And I was like, what happened during that time? It was like we sure got messed up there. But anime pretty much covered that, and it was pretty damn awesome. So kudos to Isayama for that.
Well, I'll say this for the Uprising arc when it came to the manga. Like, I think if you read that arc from like a volume standpoint, like it's much better reading it from that than reading it like say month to month.
That's true. I actually sort of cheated by reading the volume style, so I actually didn't like really follow too much of the chapter by chapter. I actually followed by
Well,
volume. Too bad, but I could tell why people will be like complaining. Like when
Yeah,
we get to the
for
fun
me,
stuff,
I think I started the manga around towards the end of this arc, or at least around the beginning of the Shingansha arc. I believe that's around the time I finished the anime. Season 1. I know, which was. Trying to recall.
but by the time season 1 ended, the Clash of the Titans arc was like just wrapping up, and I want to say like the end of 2013 is when the Uprising arc started. So it went on for at least
2 years.
a year and a half. Because I remember, no, it ended in I think it was June. I believe June was like when the arc officially ended.
Okay, I probably started reading the Attack on Titan manga in 2016 or 2017.
Last time when it came to Attack on Titan, we did best episode and worst episode, or should I say least favorite episode, which at that point was a little easier because it was only 12. This one, I was like, there were so many good episodes that you could pick from. So I decided to tweak it a little bit. And I said, no, you know what? Let's do this. Top 5 favorite episodes and top 5 least favorite episodes. Yeah, I'm going to be that cruel.
Oh boy,
that's
I've only watched most of these episodes once, so okay.
Well, time to look at the list.
Yeah, same here.
And if anyone's curious, how we're starting this off, we're going to go from bottom to top.
What? So the weakest episode to the okay.
No, top 5. Like start from 5, 4, 3, and then work your way up.
Okay. Let me think of what episodes I might consider the best. Okay, episode 2. Let's see.
Like what listing?
Let's see. No, let me just find the top 5 episodes first. Episode 2. Let's see. Episode 7. Episode 16. Episode 17. I'll do episode 18 as well.
Okay, so we started from the least, right?
Yeah, from
Okay.
So it's still like the best episodes, but we're starting from 5 to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I suppose I'll
wait,
start with for me the weakest will probably be episode 2, Pain. Well, let's see. Well, enjoy the Levi and Kenny fight scene. I'm still kind of taken aback about how Anna and Historia were captured in this episode, since I'm still remembering how in the manga it wasn't until like a third in when they got captured. So I guess for that bit, it's like, okay, granted it speeded up the things a bit, but yeah, I was a bit confused at first. Until like some of the other episodes. Okay, second least, number 4 for me.
Not least favorite. Favorite.
Oh,
I suppose
least favorite first.
No. It's top 5 favorites and then top 5 least favorite.
That's still hard. I mean, it would have been much harder if you say 1. But yeah, actually, you go.
Wow. Let's see, but anyway, let's see, but I suppose, let's see, for number 4, I'd probably also put Wish, in which, let's see, Squad Levi engages Kenny, and you also have Historia, let's see, event, let's see, learning more about, let's see, her family, and let's see, Eren being guilt-ridden from, like, what his father did, and then she rejects her father and stuff, and then cliffhanger of him turning into a massive titan. I suppose that would be for episode 4. It's a great episode, I don't know, but let's see, but I just like let's see, the perfect game, Hero, and Midnight Sun a bit better, which, you know, in which order I like which one's better, I guess. See, I suppose number 3 would be Midnight Sun, as most of this episode is, let's see, after let's see, Zeke and the Cart Titan escape, before hinting that Zeke's connection with Eren's father, which is, we all know he's his son and stuff. Let's see, for the final episodes. It becomes most of the entire episode. Let's see, granted, I don't think the opening was in this episode because of how much they did for this. It's like, became a more debate on who should they save, Armin or Eren. Let's see, Armin was more of an emotional standpoint, with like Eren and Mikasa, while Irvine was like, well, the logical choice, though. I mean, sorry, Levi ends up choosing Arvin at the end, mostly due to the fact he realizes that Irvine would probably needs to rest after throwing away his dream and stuff, and probably even if he did find out what was in the basement, his life's purpose would be done afterwards, and there's no telling what he would do. But yeah, but I suppose there's a little bit of action. Granted, this was more of a emotional debate, moral debate kind of thing, and that, which is still makes it great. But let's see, I do like my action a bit, so that might just be personal bias. Number 4, I'd probably be Colossal Titan is beginning to start set flames, and Armand losing control, while leaving Jean to try and deal with the situation, lead the situation, while the Beast Titan is throwing rocks and doing the biggest massacre of the scouts we had seen at this point. And then we have like the big charging at the end, where Erwin tries to lead the recruits to their pretty much a suicide one. Let's see, for me, the number 1 episode is pretty much when, let's see, you see all the rookies die at the end, at the beginning, and then you have Levi facing the Beast Titan, and then you have like Sir's group with Jean, Connie, and Sasha fighting, let's see, Reiner, while you have Eren and Armin versus Bertolt, and it's like, it's really a tense episode with all these stuff, like, who's going to be successful with killing which Titan, who's going to die, who's going to fail and stuff. Levi beats the Beast Titan, but he escapes thanks to the new latest Titan shifter, the Cart Titan, who will play a bit of a prominent role in the next season. Let's see. So in many ways, Levi successfully reaches him, but fails to finish the killing blow, which kind of makes for many of the rookies there feel like it's an unfulfilled promise there.
Fuck! I'm joking.
Let's see. The Reiner versus the Mikasa group, that was a bit interesting due to the fact that Connie and Sasha, due to the fact that, still not over Reiner's betrayal, sort of hesitate to kill him a bit and stuff, but there's quite intensity where they're down to the last shots and it's just only them left, as Hanja's group was completely annihilated by Bertolt. It's like a one-shot moment. You screw up, you miss, which Connie's, I think, Sasha's didn't quite hit the mark before Mikasa could do the finishing blow. You get the sudden arrival of Hanji still alive after. Let's see, Bertolt's Colossal Titan transformation. And then, let's see, for the Colossal Titan, you pretty much mostly have Armin and Eren trying to figure out how to beat him. And then you have Armin sort of sacrificing willing to sacrifice his life for Eren to do the final blow in many ways. this was sort of like the show. This is like the showdown that was like been built up since, well, pretty much the first few episodes from season one, where Eren was really trying so long to kill the antagonist that in his eyes, Berta, the Colossal Titan, who was responsible for breaking down the first wall. Having that large boulder land on his mother, his family's house, resulting in his mother being killed. I mean, some of the other episodes would have been a bit. Could have also done it with the basement, but I just chose those episodes because I figured I would choose 3 episodes from the second half and 2 episodes from the first half. So yeah, the basement would be number 6. But anyway, your turn for life, or Lucky Chi. I've said my piece.
Well, it's hard. I mean, if you were to tell me what's number 1, I would be like, can we bundle that with episode 16 to 18? Is it possible to bundle that for the top 1? Because that's what it feels like to me. It feels like the ultimate trilogy, even though it actually connects to the first episode of the second half of season 3. But those 3 episodes, it's just god tier. I was flabbergasted because, like, okay, I know Attack on Titan, like, you know, for a lot of people, for many like me, it's really great. It's a great show. It's a great series. But like, and when you're a manga fan and you know what's coming ahead, but then you're still surprised about how it is not only executed, but surprised by its content. You still be like wow by it. And I was.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to mention. The only thing I'd say I was disappointed with that sequence with the Levi versus Ape Titan. I was a bit disappointed they didn't use the music, which has "Itasti to say Odasti to say."
Basically, what do you call it? I think the soundtrack is actually called Attack on Titan. But yeah, like those 3 episodes bundled together is just masterful. Like the funny part about it is around this time, it came out around the time where Game of Thrones season 8, you know, highly anticipated season, and I I even say like before season 8 actually aired, I said this is like some Game of Thrones craziness, some what was it called? The Battle of the Bastards level.
Yeah, there we go.
And I remember saying that. I still have it recorded, and I said that. And then when season 8 came out and came and went, I say like, hey, you want a real season 8? This is it right here. This is your true season 8.
In many ways, when I read this in the manga, it was like one of the most suspense I've ever felt in a manga arc. The only thing I can think of, I think that came close to that to me was during the time when the Pain arc was still ongoing, and when you had all those characters dying because you're like, you couldn't believe it.
That's true.
Let's bring everyone back.
That's yeah, never mind. I mean, like, I would say, well, I mean, like, I do remember being like a bit invested because it's like, holy crap, this is a little bit different than I remember for Naruto. But for Attack on Titan, it's saying a lot when it feels like this feels different from the usual pattern of Attack on Titan. Mainly because it's like a Marine 4 war arc from One Piece. You got everybody involved. Every character you have known. We got Reina, Berto. We got the entire main cast. Everybody's involved. So it felt like this is the peak. And they have building up. The reason why Uprising Arc was most necessary. It was to have this an epic build up for this second half.
Oh yeah.
This one takeover is everything is everything. This winner takes all in all sensitive way. Mm-hmm. And they build up so perfectly. So when the time comes, it's like you feel it. You feel every part of it. Like, yep, this is the real. Like this. Everything is at stake. This one big battle, and it was like 100% satisfaction. Those 3 episodes that I mentioned. Those are the episodes. Like you could like either watch the whole episode again over and over again, or you could watch the best part of it. Like for a perfect game, the last part was absolutely amazing.
It was.
Like that last part with Erwin's final scream. It was absolute glorious. It was like the best part. Even when I know what happened in manga, when I saw Eren get hit, I was like shook. Like I lost all like I couldn't even move. Like that's how invested I was. And that music made us so perfect. That soundtrack I always love. That I actually keep hearing, honestly keep hearing when I'm in something super hype in whatever series I'm reading or watch or not watching it because I have to respect whatever the creation. But the point is, it's like that soundtrack is godlike. I'm like, oh my
It
god, I got the main chills. And then when that happened, I'm like, I gotta see the next episode. The funny part about this, I actually binge watch. I didn't watch week by week. It's not because I don't want to see Attack on Titan. It's more like I want to see a whole bunch. I want to see it in one go. And then
Yeah,
I
right.
did
I
that,
thought it
and
too.
I was and then what they say has to be like the episode where everybody lost their shit, as they say it, was the next episode, Hero. That's where everybody was telling me, "Oh, you gotta watch this. This is like God." It had a like a perfect 10 rating over IMDb, I believe, and
It
that's
did.
unheard of for anime. I'm like, what? It's insane. So I watched it. I know what happened because I read the manga. But man, it's incredible too, from beginning to the end. You got like the most satisfying comeback, most satisfying like payback from Levi against freaking Zeke. There you go. I don't know. I'm drawing blanks. But yeah, see.
It
So when Levi gets to him, it's like, oh shit. You're kind of want to mouth. Well, me, I was like just saying kind of like that like that feeling where when you see your boxer that you're betting on the money on, like betting your entire house on. When you start to see your boxer punching the guy and starting punching more and more, you just start to say, yeah, come on, like that, something like that. That's the feeling I got when I saw Levi because I just want Zeke to get his ass beaten down, and it was so damn satisfying. That card touch of saving him, it was like the most biggest middle finger that the world could see, and that because I remember I was so irate when I saw he was being saved, and Levi was just saying like, I'm supposed to kill you. Erwin trusted me,
yeah,
but I'm
right.
supposed to kill you. It's like, damn, you feel so bad. Like after all the sacrifice, and he still couldn't finish the job. It's just, it's that feeling that like the investment feeling that it gets you rage. That's that man. The rest of the episode is just awesome. I love the whole Mikasa defeating Reina. I still remember the manga, the double page spread. That was awesome. It was like Army sacrificed himself, and then Berto didn't realize that Eren was already out of his Titan form, and then he like pretty much kind of like have that reminisce pose from the first volume cover, which is awesome. And it's like, hey, remember first volume? He finally defeat that colossal Titan.
Yeah,
So
right.
so awesome. I was like, yes, yeah, and he didn't need to be a Titan to beat him. He beat him as a normal scout. How awesome is that? You cannot get any more reward in that. It's like, yeah. And then the Midnight Sun. The main draw is the fact that these discussions between all the team felt very real. Felt like it could have been just normal revival. Well, it's not really revival because none of them have died yet. They're on the verge of death. The idea is to bring them back with a Titan form. But when Irwin shows up, it's like things got way more complicated. So if you were to just have like no Irwin and just have Army, and then you just have the, oh yeah, we have the syringe, we'd be good. That would have been a normal case. Like, all right, fine, that's cool. I mean, like, the sacrifice scene was awesome, but kind of wish he didn't do that. But then when the Irwin scene comes in, like when Irwin body came in, it's like now everything is different. And then you got these voice actors doing a tremendous job on just carrying that emotion. Like especially like it's funny because like you would never think Mikasa would carry that emotion, that so much emotion, since we know how her character is. But damn, she did a great job in that episode. Erwin, Aaron he, knowing Yuchikashi, of course he's gonna do an amazing job. I mean, and this one is no exception. But I just love everything how they're so conflicted. Levi was hell bent to save Erwin, but you see every other front of argument, and it's sad because you got like Armin, like he's the future. He's the guy that have his dream. He's our best friend. But that's not enough for these guys because, like, hey, he's like a commander. He knows what he's doing. He has the guts to carry the soldier forward. We need him for this. And Levi's very loyal to him. And, Haji's like, come on, man. We lost so many people. Why we got to lose more? Come on. Help us here. It's awesome conflict. I just love every piece of it. And I kept watching and watching and watching. And, the ending was just sad. It was like a great mix of emotion in many ways. I love every part of it, and they did a great job for not having no intro. Just let the feeling sink in, and like go all the way to the episode and just let it sink in all the way from the beginning to the end. So that part is great. So like I said, those 3 episodes right there, it's like a bundle into one best part of the series. But yeah, we got to carry as top 5. That's, I guess you could say 1, 2, 3 right there. That's 1, 2, 3 right there. 4 will be. I'm gonna say that day, the first episode where they start learning the flashback, because this is the episode where not only you learn a lot of new things, but this is where, as many would put it, where the series changed drastically, but for the greater good. Because many people would say, like, okay, this series is just pretty much a, a revenge story in some way, even though it escalated much differently. But this episode changed drastically to your viewpoint. And if it hasn't already, this would definitely will. But not only that, it has that feeling where the series pretty much have a second wind. And I hardly see a lot of series gain a bigger reputation. When season 1 came out, it was like a 10 out of 10 series. But I'm getting tired of this series. It's going on too long. So I'll still give it like a 9 for generosity. But then you see this episode, my God, my interest is incredibly high now. I want to see more of it. 10 out of 10 again. That's rare. And when you do that, you have a successful series. And that's what this series did. That episode made everybody want to see the series again. Like I think there was a video I haven't seen, but it was like, I'm being honest right now, but this series is incredible. I'm not even.
In many ways, let's see. That episode kind of reminds me of game changes that happened during like some of the big free eras, where you had at the end of part 1 Sasuke leaving the Leaf Village. In Bleach, you had Aizen being the main bad guy. Went that twist.
The only difference.
And for One Piece is, let's see, Ace's death and Blackbeard taking Whitebeard's power.
Well, you don't need to go that spoiler, but sure.
Yeah,
you can say that. The only difference is, and this is gonna be controversial. The only difference is this series at least carry forward that quality afterward. So take that as you will. At least they actually stick to the gun. Huh?
Said I agree.
I suppose you could also say the Itachi Revelations was also a game changer.
I mean, the sad part is the Pain arc. If we're gonna be a little bit spoily, the Pain arc was actually could have been a game changer.
It could have.
Then the ending happened.
That ending should have been our first. Hold on.
Then yeah, I don't think it would be too much of a game changer, but it would have helped a lot. But then the ending happened. Anywho, yeah, that day.
Oh, go on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so that's number 4. I wanted to be fair because I feel like I'm gonna pick a lot of them for the second half of season 3 because they're all pretty damn solid. Especially the second last episode, the Attack Titan. You finally got the title drop in this sense. Like, oh my God, that's why they call it the title.
Yeah, no, that's the funny thing. Like, if you actually look at the volume cover, like, On is actually like in lowercase. I'm like, oh, that's clever.
That makes total sense. But yes, but I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna pick one from the first half. Probably Wish. where where not only we got a new add-on scene, but we also got Historia with a great music OST, mind you. That part I really like a
That song is
lot.
amazing.
Yeah, it is actually. I was like, oh, this really make and again, Aaron. Oh, his character was shine brightly in that episode
Mhm.
because not it goes to show you he's not a guy who's like very status
He's like,
quo. He
yeah, let's go
actually
kill the Titans. I'm like,
yeah, like he actually like he feels incredibly weak. He feels like now he understood his character 100%, and just the way he when Ani, I say Ani, excuse me,
Historia.
Historia, she's asking our Aaron, why you're not saying anything? Aren't you guys told me I'm bad, I'm doing the wrong thing or anything like that? And you just see Aaron just finally speaking out his real emotions, saying like, he remember everybody that he has make friends and everyone who has died before him. So it's like now you understood his character as well. So not only he does, you too as well. It's a great dynamic, and of course the ending with this great soundtrack. Yeah, it was very great. It was a great episode. I would say it's the best episode of the first half, if anything. But I did like the last episode with Kenny because it does give you a lot of some hints to the what's gonna come for us. And yeah, Kenny was a great character too, in my opinion. Yeah, honorable mention, I guess. Like I said, the attack tie-in, and the other side of the wall, especially where a lot of people probably don't understand that much, anime watching wise, that they don't probably don't understand what Eren means about if we go over there and kill the enemy. That very ambiguous line.
Okay, I'm gonna start from the bottom and build my way through because, it was tough. For 5, I'm gonna have to go with Friends, the one with Kenny and Uri, like that, like getting Kenny's backstory and that episode, like I thought was like really cool because like throughout the entire Uprising arc, like that Kenny and Levi have some kind of connection, but you're not sure what it is. And I thought what was really cool about that episode was that you got to kind of see where he was coming from and where he kind of became essentially like the character that he was. That entire interaction with Levi and like when he reveals to Levi that he was an Ackerman, that he's an Ackerman too. The thing that like really got me was when Levi asked like, "What are you to my mother?" and he said, "Just her brother." And then he's like, "Well, like then why? Like, why did you leave me that day?" And then like Kenny's final words, like as he just like shoves the serum like toward Levi and just says, "I just wasn't cut out to be someone's dad." You find out that the guy that trained you was your uncle, and like his final words were just that. It's crazy. Getting like friendship with Dorian, like how that was really cool too. Also, like the whole coronation with the story thing, that was nice, and the entire joke of which I thought the manga did this one better. The punch that Historia did to Levi when everyone's like, "Yeah, you should." Like, "Are you sure?" That scene, it was also touching because like Levi kind of found out about Kenny. He's like, "Yeah, I needed that." And as soon as that scene hits, next scene, Armor Titan's on the ground immediately. You're like, "Wait, hold up, what happened? Why is he on the ground like that?" And then Zeke's there. He's like, "Oh yeah, I won. Guess that means we can wait on Annie. Let's just wait here, because the coroner will show up." So it was like, like just the perfect build up to essentially the second half of season 3. It's number 5 for me because like there's like a lot of other episodes too. Which 4, I actually kind of think it's a little underrated, but it's Bystander. It's the one where you have Keith Schott as their instructor talk about the entire thing, his perspective on what he assumed was like the hero, him running into Grisha, getting like a little tiny bits of origins about like Carla and the fact that she was like a waitress, and him feeling like there needed to be a lot more meaning in life. Like that's the thing. Like he always told himself that, yeah, like I'm the one who's gonna do it. I'm the hero. And him kind of like as life's going on, like you're seeing like things didn't go exactly the way he did. I thought what was really tragic about the scene is like the day that Walmaria fell, like you see everyone just like trying to get out alive, and they're just like pushing like Shada's around, and I was like, man, that sucks. That really, really sucks. Especially like I thought what was crazy in the manga at the time was that when this scene came up, I was like, wait, he's the guy? Like like from the very first episode, like you see the guy that beating himself over at like, what happened in the mission, and then when you find out it's him, it's like that makes so much sense. Oh my god! And then that entire speech he made to Carla about what you think you can just go around and flirt with every guy in the world when we're out there just fighting for our lives. Like that I thought was cool. And then getting that entire revelation of like that he was the one that brought Aaron back, when after he had ate Grisha. I think what was really touching about that episode too was the fact that like you had Carla like basically telling Shada's like, it's because my son was born into the world. That's honestly what it was. But one of the funny scenes that came from that episode was like when Sasha's just standing there and he's like, you can sit down. She's like, no, I'm fine. Just stand right here. Again, amongst the other episodes, this one's like number 4 because of like what else we have to. And my third pick would have to be Hero. Oh my god. You want to talk about a moment that like really Sparta actually did a good job of explaining it, but you're seeing like the entire battle take place between Levi and Z, and I remember like them, I was like, yeah, right at the last second, it's like, really? Gonna let him get away? Like, he's right there. But also coinciding with that, you got the entire fight between Bertold, Armin, and Aaron, and the strategy that I liked using there again was that whole tactical maneuver strategy where Armin is a decoy, and you're thinking, what's gonna happen? And then you see Aaron going in for the finishing blow, and again, just echoing back to what Sparta said, that scene where it's kind of like mirroring off from the first volume cover, I thought was done brilliantly, and the emotions you feel after that, because it was like that episode. You get to that point, you get to the end, and you're left thinking like, man, Armin went out with a bang, and like that's where the episode ends. As I want to say, this is indeed Armin dying. Then, good job. It like really tugged you in the heartstrings with that episode in particular. But that episode's number 3, and number 2, I'm gonna pick Wish, which is actually kind of interesting because can I lump 6 and 7 together? But because I feel like 6 and 7 go hand in hand with one another, but because because that's when you get the backstory of like what Grisha did and everything. But 6 will be an honorable mention. But 7, what I really liked again was the entire sequence with the Levi squad versus the Kenny squad, and kind of like with what Sparta said, like that entire battle sequence between Levi and Kenny, like that's the one scene we didn't really get to see in the manga. So when I saw it in the anime, I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. That's really, really interesting. Okay, so that's what happened when Kenny was away. Okay, that makes sense. The tactical maneuvers, the strategies that they used, I thought that was great. The other part about episode 7 that I also really liked was the entire bit with the story, and this is kind of something at the time when I read this in the manga, like it blew me away because you want to talk about breaking tropes, breaking character archetypes. This episode, I mean, you could kind of say it was like a build-up from the start of the Uprising Arc of the manga, but this ultimately solidified it because you see the struggle that Historia is going through, in the episode, like when she sees Eren and him not transforming into a Titan. And the heartbreaking thing about that episode is, unlike any other time, and I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, what about when Hannes got killed? Or was it 11? I'm pretty sure that was the last episode of season 2." Because I've seen a lot of people make this comparison between this scene and that scene. The biggest difference between that scene is that, like, Eren felt useless because he felt like nothing changed. This scene, though, in the Wish episode, his will was shattered. He felt like he was completely worthless, and it went so far to a point where he just said, "Look, I don't deserve to live. I don't deserve this kind of power. I just want to die." And when you see Eren in that state, like, you're sitting there and you're thinking, like, wow, seeing Eren from season 1, even season 2, and getting to that particular point in season 3, the growth in his character and, like, him hitting essentially the lowest point was incredible. Like, from a character standpoint, from a growth standpoint, I mean, even just from an emotional standpoint too, it was like, whoa. When he said, like, just take it back. Like, I don't deserve it. Then you see Historia contemplating with that decision. Then you have her father telling her about, like, the history and whatnot about the Titans and why things happened the way they did. And ultimately her getting a reminder from, in the manga it was both Ymir and Frida, but the anime decided to just do Ymir. Either way, it still kind of worked. You got Ymir, like, kind of imparting on her words, telling Historia, live a life you don't regret. And then that music hit, and when she just tosses the serum away, I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, she said, hell no, we're not doing that. She ran up, she grabbed Eren. An amusing scene was, just eat me already. I don't deserve it. And she's like, shut up, you stupid crybaby. I don't care. I'm gonna get you out of here while I take care of the rest. And you end up on that note with Rod turning into a Titan. It was like, shit's gonna get crazy. But my second favorite episode out of this list, which makes you wonder, what is
number one episode?
Number one episode. Anybody want to take a guess what it is?
Is it Beyond the Wall?
My favorite episode in season 3 is The Other Side of the Wall.
Knew it.
Yep. A lot of reasons as to why this is the case. Because this was something that was talked about. I mean, yeah, sure. Like, okay, the basement was a huge factor too. But this was something that both Eren and Armin wanted to see. They always talked about the sea in the first season. Tiny bits in season 2, but it was like something that they really wanted to see. And I thought what was really cool about this episode was that, like, everyone's there. They're talking about how everything went down in the Battle of Shingashina. Like, just when, like, everything's like oh, like, hunky. Well, I don't want to say hunky dory, but, like, everything is like, yeah, like, we went through, like, such a hard battle, and like, people died. And then Flock. You always need the one guy to just kill the tension.
And 4 lives, new worst enemy.
Oh my god. Like, when Flock's like, yeah, you shouldn't have survived. Erwin should have been the one. You had no right. And you're only reason that you're still alive because of your sorry friends right there. I'm like, okay. What?
Yeah. You gotta love how the series always gives you, like, that meaningful, like, if I go this direction, I will get something different, would I? Kind of like a video game, only this really matters. So it's like, if I go to this direction, what do I get? I got Floach, he's still alive. Why is he gonna be like, oh, an asshole? That's what I need.
Well enough, apparently, I looked at his trivia, and apparently he wasn't supposed to be that major a character, but Ishiyama decided he needs someone to conflict with conflicting views with the main protagonists of the series.
It does work, though. It does work, especially in season 4 content. But hey, like if it ever comes to that, his days, if you get what I mean, it better be rewarding. It better be like, It's going to be automatically 10 out of 10. Whatever episode that ever happened. I can't spoil. I'm not sure if it does happen or will it happen or not happen. But all I'm saying is 10 out of 10 automatically. It could be Seven Deadly Sins season 3 budget. It could be that crap. It could be very spectacular. But if he gets killed somehow, 10 out of 10. Change my mind ever.
Would you do it if his death was Jar Jar shooting him in the face?
Oh God.
Yeah, I'll still give it 10 out of 10.
That's how much Spock is disliked, people.
At least how much 4Life dislikes him.
Like I said, it could be Seven Deadly Sin Terror Bad, the season 3 Terror Bad. It would still be a 10 out of 10.
It would. It really would. But yeah, like you got that scene, and then Armin's feeling down, and Aaron's the one like, no, like don't you remember what we always talked about? We talked about the sea, lands of ice, like fields of fire, like snow and deserts, and I was like, yeah, Aaron, you go. And it's like, and what's beyond the sea? It's freedom, and freedom is in the second he says that, man, like that moment. I mean, there's something greater than that too. But when that scene clicked, that one little instance of Faye getting eaten by dogs, he knew right then and then, like, shit, what am I talking about? Like, it was like the first click for him. Where he was like, I don't know. Wait, shit, is that what freedom really is? But not to spend too much time on that, but it is interesting because when you got the whole coronation scene well, not coronation scene, but like when they're getting like their medals and whatnot, Aaron kind of comes to that realization that like he wouldn't like it still kind of calls back to not season, but like the Wish episode where he says like, look, I wouldn't mind giving up my life, but I don't know what they would do to Historia. That's because he remembered what happened with Dinah and like the entire situation with that, and he was like, "Yeah, look, I don't want to do that." And this is the thing that happens because it sets up everything for season 4. Is right when that hits, he's getting those flashes, and at first you're like, "Hey, like, well, it's something we've kind of seen," and then you see Aaron's face, and he's like, "Okay," it's like, oh, well, what's going on there? And even when I read the manga, it was like right after that we hit like 1 year, and I was like, that's like we're not gonna get a follow up to that or whatnot. I mean, when I read that, I was like, it's a little jarring. It still felt that way for the anime too, but I was like, all right, you know what? It's something I expected. They go off, they see the sea, everyone's excited, everyone's like, oh my god, the sea. Like, look at this. It looks so beautiful. Aaron's the only character. The only person who's just like, looks nice and whatnot. Well, everyone else, like, Sasha's like, oh no, my eyes, they burn. Sam's like, it's salty. Han, you see something like, what is that? Don't touch it. Then the last few minutes hit. You want to talk about ending off an episode, ending off a season that really hits you. It's these last few minutes. Because when Armin says, you see Aaron, everything they talked about with the sea, on the other side of the wall, and then Aaron's like, yeah, there's a sea. And just across that sea, freedom is waiting. That's what I always believed. But I was wrong. It's enemies that are across the seas. Everything I've seen is exactly as it was in my father's memory. And, like, you see everyone's reaction to the moment when he says that. And then when he just, like, points out and says, hey, if we did cross the sea and killed our enemy, after that, will we finally be free? Like, you see this expression on Aaron's face, and he's not happy. He's not sad. He's torn. He's like, what's next after this? And I thought that was like such an impactful scene in ending off the season. That, to me, that also sets up for what's to come for the final season. But ultimately, that's my favorite episode.
Took you long enough.
Still better than you. 30-minute discussion on trying to figure out the Kage arc versus the main arc.
Hey,
I still remember
I had to limit myself with the discussions because I was actually going to break down those 3 episodes I mentioned, like each bit by bit, why they're so awesome. But I got to string myself. Like, man, like there's so much to say with those 3 episodes, especially like the last one with the whole conflict, talking who should live and die.
Yeah.
Well, lucky G, in my defense, I was talking about an entire arc there. But hey, go on. For life.
No, I'm just saying, like I could have gone longer too.
So now we get to, oh my god, the most difficult part of this podcast, which is the top 5 least favorite episodes. Now, let me be specific when I say this. When I mean least favorite, I don't mean the episodes that suck. Because all the episodes in season 3 are pretty spot on. It's just, it's tough. It's tough, like when you have to go like, okay, so you got to pick between best and least favorite, and when they're all like solid episodes, it's like I'm a little unsure at the moment, so I'm going to let BlueStar start off.
Okay, fine. In that case, I'm going to rip on the Uprising Arc. Not joking. See, I'd suppose episode 1, episode 3, episode 4, I suppose maybe episode 8. Episode 8.
These favorites sound so hard.
It is.
The episode.
So damn hard.
I suppose episode 11. Okay, let's just do those. That might not actually true. Let's see. I suppose episode 1, due to the fact that I think it rushed quite a few things. Let's see. Well, I guess also I feel like it cut out a few things because I kind of was a bit disappointed that they cut out the scene when Eren is thinking about Levi's old squad members, because I don't think that was in there when Levi's got his new squad, which is all his friends. I guess I suppose that I'm being petty. I guess you immediately get Jean and Armin kidnapped in many ways. I suppose you could say it's kind of like a repeat of Jean being a doppelganger again, but I guess there's nothing really wrong with that. And I'm trying to nitpick here.
It only happened once, though. That's the thing. It didn't happen
yeah, but I think it's I don't know. It could be end up going a recurring thing, but a old story. I guess I kind of feel like the flashback thing. This is apparently after Eren and Historia like kidnapped, I believe. I kind of feel like this would have been better told when it was as it was originally was, where it's like the second or third chapter in the arc, and it's kind of come after the witnessed thing, after the whole kidnapping thing. I kind of feel like this would have been a bit better as it's more of Historia telling her backstory, I guess. So I kind of feel like that. I guess let's see some of the. I feel like a few interesting bits of like the Erwin and Pixis cope thing was taken out, as I think it seemed. I can't recall. I might have. Let's see. It might be. I might not recall this, but I think in the anime it seems like Pixis is completely agreeing with doing the coup here. Where I think. Let's see. I think in the manga, Pixis has some reasonings why he's not fully on board with this thing yet. But I guess that might be it. Why? Episode 4, Trust. Let's see. This is the first episode. This is the episode where those police rookies that were with Annie and like the third. Let's see.
Marlo and Hitch. Yeah.
Yeah, Marlo and Hitch. Let's see. Then there was this other guy that didn't become all that important in the end, but hey. Characters had a very long absence. They suddenly arrive. Granted, it's always nice to add new characters and give them stuff, but I suppose these aren't really characters you're quite just invested in just yet. I mean, granted, this is the episode where you get invested with them, I guess, but hey. I guess they just had a long absence. I don't know. I'm nitpicking here. There isn't really anything that feels out of place, really. Episode 8. I guess this is where, I don't know, I think Aaron was a bit whiny at this point for me, I guess. Granted, I realised it was to later develop his character as where he realises he's not this special chosen one thing that seems to plague other series, but hey.
Yeah, Deku.
I also kind of disappointed I guess the Levi and Historia thing. I think it's kind of disappointing that the original manga one bit wasn't adapted, where Levi says you're gonna do this thing and gets a little aggressive with her, and instead you has like, let's see, Mikasa say, "Hey, hit him once you become queen." Instead, it's like, instead of that Reese fella from that company that does it, because
Yeah, like you get more characterization out of him in the manga for that.
Yeah, it felt more. I mean, granted, Mikasa doesn't really like Levi that much due to the fact he beated up Eren in the trial thing, but I felt like it felt more like a last minute thing here. And Bystander, where you get a bit of insight into Keith, and I suppose, let's see, a instructor. I do feel like it, and let's see, you get a bit more idea of like what Eren's father was like before he was born. You get your first hints. Let's see, and then the whole point of like this episode was to try and further the point about, yeah, you don't need to be special to matter. I do feel like its own story. I do feel like it doesn't seem like I guess it's just like a very long flashback episode, I guess, really. I don't know. Anyway, like I said, I can't really do a top 5 Lucky Chi, but that's the closest I could come up with at the moment.
That's fair.
For life, it's your turn. Let's see if you can have better luck than me.
Yeah, I'll try. Let's see. I guess starting from 5, you're going towards up. No. Yeah, let's do that.
Personally, I wasn't even trying to do. Personally, for me, I wasn't even trying to arrange them in like worst to best. I just picked 5. Sorry.
That's true. Okay. I guess starting off, we go with Trust. I mean, I really like the episode still, but we gotta pick least favorite because apparently that's our task. And least favorite does not mean it's bad. I mean, then why not just say worst episode? Even though least favorite sounds like a polite way to say that, but that's in this case it's not really true. In this case, you could just say the bottom of the barrel of the episode choices. If I remember the episode correctly, I try to remember how it ended. I do remember the beginning, which is pretty cool and historical, especially where John just got his ass beat later. We had a fake gun, a wooden thingy. So it's like, so then he got his beat by Hitch, which is funny to see. I forgot what happened at the end of the episode though.
I think it was Owen's trial.
Yeah, that's where it ended up.
That was the following episode. Yeah, I remember the following episode, which is funny because everybody got. Well, I think you would have got the idea earlier episode, but it's funny because you would think the king is something, but it ends up being like a big troll. It's like, no, he's really not. He's just there just to sit there because
he's sitting there with one pose the entire. Like, is he ever gonna say anything?
Yeah, I was like, is he like the final boss or something? Like, turns out, nah, they just use him as just a figurehead.
Like a puppet.
So like, yeah, pretty much. He's just chilling. That's really the truth. But yeah, that was the episode. Trust, yeah, that's one. I guess the next one would be Outside the Walls of District. I can't pronounce the other name. I think because it's more of planning and just witnessing a giant titan. But it does have a great build-up for the ruler of the walls. It does have a great build-up, but it was mainly a build-up episode. But pretty good. And at least if I remember right, by the end, at least Eren finally wake to his senses, like, man up. Don't stop thinking about what just happened before. It's like you're not the chosen child. Don't worry about that. It's not about that anymore. You're better off without being chosen. It's a lame storyline anyway. Not really, but still, it's not lame. I mean, technically speaking, Avatar: The Last Airbender made it work in a great way too. So I cannot call it lame. It's not really lame. It's just overly done and kind of cheap writing in a sense. But it really depends how you narrative. Anyway, yeah, that episode I guess is one of the other least favorite. I mean, I like the first episode. Maybe I like the first episode a lot too, and I do like how it ended. The ending was pretty damn gruesome, especially with the headshot. And I don't mean headshot like oh right to my brain, but rather right towards skin off my face. Probably the most brutal headshot you could get.
Yeah, no. Like I remember when that part happened, I was like, wow.
I was like, huh. I wonder if she's alive.
Even in the manga, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember the manga. I was like, did she got her head blown off?
After that.
Yeah. So did she got her head blown off? And then I think it's the next chapter or later on, you just see her body just finally died out. I'm like, yeah, she did. But yeah, that's pretty brutal. But I would say that's one of the least favorite because there's too many good favorites here. Next one, I guess the basement because I know it's a way to stall. Though I do like the idea how they did it, especially like this is a long ass journey, so you kind of want to feel with the character that you have invested for 3 seasons and we're finally back home. So it does feel rather pretty cool when you get that feel. But other than that, it is a way to give that feeling as well as stalling time for what's to come for the next 2 episodes with the whole revelation of the past. And it ended funny, but it ended funny with all right, let's use the key. The long waited journey with this amazing key. It's not the key. It doesn't fit to this basement door. Let me just keep that crap.
I remember I was like, what? It's not working. You mean
I was like it's funny because you would think, oh man, so all this time this whole key subplot is pointless at all. I was like, well, technically speaking, the real point was to go to the basement. You can't teleport there, So but then ends up the key being for the drawer, which is actually the real plot twist. But it was funny with this doesn't fit to the door. I was like, we could just break it down. I don't think your father will care anymore. And then they did. I just did that.
He's like, what? I got this.
Let me handle this. And number one. Well, it's not really number one, but I'm just going out of order because I don't even know.
Yeah.
I like Reply. I can't say
Reply's good.
I like Reply a lot. I try to remember Sin. Actually, Sin is good mainly for the ending part. Or the beginning part. Was it the beginning part or the ending part?
Yeah, the beginning part where, like, when they see the memories.
Yeah, no. I can't say that. I like that part. Because that was a huge shocker where you find out Eren is the one that killed his father.
It kind of mirrors season 2, episode 6 in a weird way, too. It's like, oh, that's...
Yeah, it's like always. It's always episode 6 is it's like a big title, like a big gasp, especially season 2 with the whole betrayal. I'm not even gonna go there because I could talk about that forever. But maybe an old story, but I kind of like that too.
Hold on. I'd say for season 5.
I mean, I like all these episodes.
Hold on.
Huh?
I'd say for season 1, episode 5 and episode 8 were the big shockers.
No, 5 for me. I don't care how it says. 5 for me was where I was like, they killed him? What?
Yeah. I mean, the funny part about episode 5 in first season, when he got killed off, I'm like, oh, let me see. When I look at the front cover of Attack on Titan manga, maybe that's not Eren. Eren. Maybe it could be anybody. It's just all about whoever saw these Titans. Yeah. I guess he died here. Damn. That sucks.
That was the end of the first volume. I was like, what?
Yeah. I found that out. I'm like, wow. Imagine reading this and then you read the next volume, but like, imagine if you just finish reading it and be like, oh, there is no main character. It's like, hey, there's some series that does that, I think. It's pretty wild. But back to least favorite.
They are.
Like the lowest you can get if you want to do out of 10, it'd be like 8.5. And everything else would be up. It's so hard. That's how good they are.
Y'all guys think this is bad? Wait till season 4 hits. That's gonna be even harder.
Oh god. Yeah. I mean, you could cherry pick one, but everything else is gonna be super hard. I would just go old story. Just take it.
Well, simply put, Lucky Cheat, just don't do top 5 weakest episodes.
Go old. I would just go old story.
What would it be just making it one?
I would just go old story, episode 3. As interesting and really telling episode on looking back at the flashback with Hisori and Erwin, no less. And then you got the whole build up with this whole government is very shady. What we're gonna do? We should have an uprising. No pun
I
intended.
think what, like 3 episodes? Yeah, about 3 episodes.
Yeah, it's pretty much a build up, but it's a very interesting build up. It's very interesting background, and this is where you started to think, Tankatang has really had really depth, really true depth on this character. Even though season 2 showed that way more too, but people like to use that excuse to say the series sucks.
Level. Yeah.
A lot of people like to use that excuse for this series sucks because the character has no depth. Season 1 starts to shine during the second half, and then definitely season 2 so much. Then from there on, the series has it's not flawless, but the series has very less flaws that you could try to cherry pick. But that's my 5. It was hard. I didn't like it, but I have to do what I have to do.
Which comes to me now. Okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself after this. No, I'm joking about that. Like the others, I don't have any particular order because this is tough. I mean, okay, the 3 easy ones I can definitely say for sure. I think outside the walls of the Orford district, the basement, and then the town where everything began, which is crazy when I want to consider that one. But it's mainly because those 3 episodes, and in a way you could say were kind of like build-up episodes for what's to come. So it'd be those 3. A Trust I like, yeah, but the entire Uprising bit was, I love it, but it's tough. I'm just gonna say Trust, just cause. And then just because I'm not gonna dive too much into it, Old Story, which I feel like is kind of unanimous amongst the group. So no particular order. It's Trust, Outside the Walls of the Orford District, Basement, The Town Where Everything Began, and Old Story. Again, not to say these episodes suck, because they're great episodes, arguably amazing episodes, but when you got a plethora of episodes to pick from an entire overall amazing season, it makes it difficult.
Never do it again, Lakichi.
I might.
You son of a gun.
The torture. Which actually now brings us over to the next point of this. Manga versus anime. And in terms of it, okay, so in terms of the material that we had, which was, again, the Uprising Arc and the Return to Shingashina Arc, how did you guys feel the anime did as a whole compared to the manga material?
I felt like it was much quicker than the manga. Granted, that's just because the manga was monthly. Well, it did speed up quite a lot of things for the Uprising Arc. I feel like some things were lost for the...
It was kind of detrimental.
For like certain characters, and like certain scenes were missing. For example, I kind of liked the flashback where I kind of like the scene where Eren compares Squad Levi now to what it was, as a sort of like, because it shows that he's kind of thinking about the comrades he's lost.
Mm-hmm.
That's the end as an example, and I think I do kind of like some of the more insight into characters like the Reeves lot and, well, the journalists, because they were kind of just there when they finally had their role. Well, you learn a bit more about the propaganda stuff, all that stuff. And granted, there was some like decent, more better granted, I would probably say the anime was better for action. So I'd probably say, at least for the first half, let's see, lacking in character, but good on action. I'd say better on action, actually.
Yeah.
So I'd say watch the anime for the action, and I'd say read the manga for the character thing, because I also feel like there was discussions on whether or not to kill or not, because I think that was kind of cut from the manga, because I think Jean, Connie, and Sasha...
Yeah, like Jean had like an entire subplot to that, and that kind of got a little...
Yeah, because like this is the arc where you're getting these people, finally getting more insight into these characters.
Mm-hmm.
In many ways, because kind of like after the whole Clash of the Titans, you pretty much, and well, the arc before that, I mean, Eren's group was a group of 12. In many ways, it's kind of like how Naruto's group was tuning Sam's group of 12 for the main Leaf Ninjas. It's kind of like it's been reduced to half after half of them have returned, either died or become traitors. So these are the ones that are like with Aaron to the end, with like Aaron's group to the end and stuff. So you want to develop time with these, and well, it's got cut. Granted, I'm not sure whether or not it was a good idea to cut Armin's, face reaction after. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, after like him being harassed by those creeps. But yeah, I'd say I'd probably let's see if you want more character stuff, go with the manga. If you want a more action, fast paced, go with the anime. Yeah, I'm kind of done. Or do you want me to talk about Shingashina?
Yeah.
Well, I could take it from here.
Let's see.
So
Let's
you're
see.
asking?
I was just going to say for Shingashina, I think for the most part they adapted it pretty much on point. The only thing I'd say is, if you want a bit more clear,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you want to do like clearer, if you want more clear action scenes, I'd probably go with the anime for that one. Yeah, the anime for Shigansha over the manga. Sorry, go on.
I think for the most part they handled the season 3 as an overall pretty damn well. Actually, I would say too well. Well, you could argue about the first half. Yeah, they just go by faster. I think maybe one more episode will be helpful, but for what it's worth, I think it did its job. I think it did a really good job to make it appealing, compelling, and get your eye attention and focus on his lore and his build up and his where the foreshadow every detail. And yeah, you could have kept some of the elements from the manga. I mean, so they did execute the one that's like more highlighter pretty well in the anime format. So that's not too much loss. Plus, you get a new inserted action scene, which is pretty damn cool. Wish that was in the manga, but some manga kind of tends to change their mind. Be like, I want to put an action scene. I didn't have the chance, but maybe I do now with the anime. And sure enough, we do. He did what he exactly wanted to do, and it was awesome. I was like, damn, that was awesome. That was one part that I could say you gotta watch the anime for. And I did like they did have to change up some things because that it would have made sense narrative speaking with manga, for example, like with the anime, for example, the whole Historia talk because the
Yeah, because like the backstory doesn't happen until what, the third chapter of that arc, or was it two? I'm trying to remember.
No, well, I'm just talking about the. You remember the scene where
Is it the flashback scene with her?
No, it's no flashback. It's actually the current timeline. They changed the form. They changed the sequence around in the anime. Instead of having if I remember right, instead of having Aaron, crying about like his philosophy, his chosen one was all BS because he's taken away from other people, and he cries about it. In the manga, he cries about it, and then you see Historia look like she's about to take a shot and turn to a Titan. And it makes you believe she turned to a Titan, but you gotta wait for the next chapter, and then you find out she had a flashback with Ymir, and then she decided no, screw that. But in the anime, it's all one big sequence instead of having a cliffhanger.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I remember that a lot of people thought Historia actually take the syringe and actually become a Titan.
I remember I thought that. I was like, wow, okay.
I was like, yeah, but in the anime, it's all in one sequence, so it didn't fool you or anything like that. But that's fine because anime and manga has a different narrative speaking, so that's fine. But yeah, I thought they changed that well. First, yeah, again, a lot of things in the first half was pretty solid. Then the second half, it was 2 episodes shorter, but it was damn necessary because not only the pacing was excellent, but everything about it was just phenomenal. The one biggest strength the anime has is animation, or even actually to me, it's technically on the sounds side of things, when it comes to voice acting, soundtrack, the sounds, all that stuff. That's actually more my critique than animation. I mean, you need animation. I'm not saying go 7 Deadly Sin on me. Don't do that. It's the voice acting, it's the selling point, it's the execution, everything from it. But that's the necessary of a soundtrack and the voice acting and the scene. It has to exploit it. So when you have season three, the second half, everything is just felt like so much like more than an anime. Especially if you're those type of people that don't like those typical anime, it feels more like a TV live series that could go down like with Breaking Bad, Game of Thrones, and The Good Days, Walking Dead, The Good Days version. You know what I mean? It's like it has that feel like we're in that level. We're not in the level of like those stereotypes anime where American TV show likes to make fun of. It's that kind of level. It has that feel. And I think that's what makes it appealing for a lot of audience in the first place. But that's another discussion. Bottom line is they executed perfectly with season three, second half. Everything was awesome. Again, I felt like I should know everything that happened sequence by sequence. Yet I was taken away and blown away by every part of it. Like I was just watching it for the very first time, seeing it for the for the very first time, which says a lot. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Just excellent, and it's a great way for Witch Studio to go out with a bang.
Okay, I've got a couple perspectives on this. So when it comes to the Uprising arc, kind of like going off with what Blue Star and Sparta said, like yeah, you do miss out on like some big like like character subplots in the anime, which is kind of unfortunate because like I said, because Jean has an entire subplot, Kakani a little bit too, and you could say it was a little bit dragging in the manga, but like I felt like, especially like if you read it from a volume stance, like it flows a little bit better from that sense because you're getting a little bit more stuff like on like the Reeves company and like all like and then those guys, like it kind of humanizes them a little more versus like okay, here they are and they like 2 seconds later like Kenny kills them with like okay. And personally, like okay, when it comes to Historia's character arc, I felt like it was a little more natural in the manga because you see like a proper transition from her going from Crystal Lens to becoming the queen, and that was cool. If you want a more streamlined version of the arc, where you still have like most of the great moments, amazing moments from the Uprising arc, I'd say go with that, but then look at the manga and see what they skipped, because I think that makes it a little more interesting, because it would kind of change your perspective a little bit on like how you feel of how that arc turned out. So that's my recommendation. For Uprising arc, I'll say the manga did it better. For Return to Shingashina, I'd say it's pretty much on point. I don't really got too much to say, though. Kind of like with what Sparta said, the one big thing that the Return to Shingashina arc has: animation, which is always solid, soundtrack, which is always godlike, and
I just remembered something. I think the Shingashina Arc actually showed a few flashbacks of certain characters that weren't going to appear into that not supposed to appear into season 4.
yeah, I know what you're referring to. There is like one. It's like towards the end, like they make like one little tweak where it's like, as far as I remember, that's not supposed to happen until later. But
Well, you do not find out about this until later.
Okay, yeah, like that was the only weird part about the Return to Shinkanshina. It's like, okay, how? That's the only thing that I'll say. But overall, it's a adaptation with Shinkanshina. That was perfect. So it's kind of like half and half. Where like Uprising arc was like the manga content is better, whereas the Return to Shinkanshina arc it's on point, but it's like the anime is just like slightly better with animation, music, and voice acting. So that brings us over to favorite opening.
I have to go with the second opening because, well, opening 4 is not bad. It's just not really what I was expecting for like a Attack on Titan. It's kind of like a slice of life kind of opening. I mean, opening 5, I'm trying to remember what it's called again. Red Swan, which is the first, was the Uprising arc, and the Shosuke no Shikaban no Michi. That one feels more like standard Attack on Titan. In fact, I think it's done by the same people who did the first opening.
They're all done
By the same guy.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
yeah.
enough.
It's Lake Horizon. He's the one. He's
Like
the one that
Horizon.
did most of the opening.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, opening 4 is a bit, like I was saying, opening 4 is a bit different because, well, you're mostly doing, it sort of feels like a sort of slice of life opening where you're having them just ritzy, mostly just showing them like what everyone looked like when they were younger. You know, it's like a much more simpler times and stuff. I mean, the one particular bit I do like is that scene where young Aaron's trying to pull older Aaron. But let's see, for like the second opening, it's kind of like a mix of all the previous seasons opening into one. It's like, in many ways, it feels like a finale. But anyway, which it kind of is in a sense, because this is the end of like what the story has been leading up to at that point for the first 3 seasons, with like
The basement of the ocean.
yeah. I particularly like how it does some very slow motion action, such as people drawing their swords, charging at the titans, or Aaron just punching the armored titan, and then it goes really fast with showing all these brief images of like the ape titan, his army of titans, stuff like that. It's hard to describe. It's sort of like a slow motion. Let's see, everyone getting ready or doing a bit of action, particularly like Aaron fighting the armored titan, like I said before, like his group of friends, like launching their thunder spears or just turning around to see the enemy and stuff. And then once you kind of have like Mikasa moving very fast, everything becomes quite quick. It's like, and then at the end of the opening, it's like flashback everything that's happened in the opening, and then this scenery of like beyond the walls, and then finally at the basement where like it tells you this is it. You're finally gonna learn the truth. It's just so near. But yeah, so I'd say the second opening is the better one. I'm done.
Opening, huh?
Mhm.
I mean, they both have different directions, but I love them both. I know a lot of people were taken off with the season 3 first opening because it's like, this is very different, and it's funny because it's like, look at that, Attack on Titan without Titans. Well, the funny thing is that's actually true. I mean, that was kind of the point of the opening too. Like, this is not about the Titan. Yeah, we got the Titan at the very end, but it's not about that. It's not about, oh man, there's so many Titans, we gotta fight them skirmishes.
No, it wasn't about itself.
It was not about that. It was more about the character, and rightfully so, because this was very important, and everything signified that. You got the main trio, then you got Levi, you got Historia, Kenny, and yeah, it means it's Erwin. You know, it's a very important arc. I know a lot of people find it like, oh, it's boring in manga, but this is a really important arc. And I really like the opening, especially who sang this song? It's Rest One by you know this artist? Oh, Yoshiki, like and Hyde featuring Hyde. Come on, does anybody don't know Hyde? But anyway, yeah, it's such a great song too, standalone. But the visual I like a lot, especially the part where you see Aaron Young bump into the Odo. It's like, damn, you know, if you especially read a manga, it makes it so kind of heartbreaking now. Actually,
No, doesn't it?
it's like, oh man, this is painful now.
No, and it's especially like if you like actually like look into the lyrics, like it's crazy.
Yeah, I actually take a look. Let me see. Actually, yeah, actually, this was a yeah. I really like this song. I really like the visual. I like the theme of it. It makes sense for this arc to have that. And then when you have I can't pronounce the name, but you know, the basically the real season 8 of the Game of Thrones season. When you have that, when that arc came in, you know, you got the Link Horizon. You could argue it's like a compilation of a lot of different past songs from the
It
Titan.
does, yeah, it really does.
Like it has that the first opening with dun 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 kinda, and then it goes with the Sasageo
Okay, yeah.
heel, yeah, And I actually like how things are in slow motion because it's like, trust me, it's like when you watch yourself, this shit is gonna get super intense. And I don't mean like, oh, we just get a boo boo. No, everybody's gonna get limbs cut off. This dude is gonna die. Heartbreaks, the feels, everything you could name of is gonna be in this very arc, and that's the feel I have with that opening. It's great. What would I prefer? Boy, that's hard. I really like the first. I really love season three first opening when you just listen standalone because it's just a very soothing song, sad and when you know the lyrics. But maybe I'll pick season one just because the song is so good. It's so damn good. Season two is more of your appropriate Attack on Titan opening that you come in love, which is which is completely fine because I really love it too. I just love that first song. It's just so good feel
Iconic.
wise. Yeah.
In terms of season 3, I'm gonna have to go with Red Swan because mainly for kind of like the same reasons that Sparta mentioned, where you've got the song, you've got the lyrics, especially if you look into it now and you see what's happening in the manga, it's like what? Like
You like the more simpler time.
well, it's not that necessarily. It's
Or
like,
you want to go back to the simpler time.
it's like the more like there's a lot more weight behind that the lyrics when you consider what's happening right now, and it's not just that, but yeah, like what that opening shows me is that like it's not your standard. Hey, here are the Titans. Let's kill the Titans. Like it's really like okay, this is about the characters. This is about like them and what they have to do to go through the trials and tribulations. And again, like you see Aaron, Astoria, Irwin, Levi, Kenny. It really does say a lot.
So, I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, that reminds me. This is unrelated, but I kind of realized ending 2 spoiled something that not even the manga released yet. No, I'm not talking about the ending 2 for this.
I know what you're referring to.
I just wanted to recall it now, just so that in the future we could talk about it later.
This season 3 part 2, the opening for that, I think is great, but I don't know there's something really unique about season 3 part 1's opening, and to me it just sticks out a lot more. So as far as season 3 goes, that's my favorite. Overall, that's tough.
Well, overall for all the openings, never mind.
Season 1's too easy. I'll say the season 1's opening's too easy. I'll go with Sasageo because I realize how often I actually I tune myself to that rhythm a lot. So I'll say Sasageo gets overall, at least for right now.
Let's see. For
That's
me,
your favorite opening of all?
Yeah, at least at this moment.
For me, it probably would be season 5. Season 3 part 2's opening for my favorite as well.
Cool. I feel season 1 opening 2 is such an underrated.
I will admit
That's true, because a lot of people don't really talk about that one.
To be honest,
because the first opening overshadowed too many of any opening that comes after it.
It does.
Because the opening one was pretty super hype, like extremely hype. Like you got so many shit going on. You got like craziness. You got all the humans flying up. It was like the old Infinity War before Infinity War existed.
I'd say I think
That's how I felt.
I'll be honest. If I didn't have season 3 part 2, I probably would have picked season 1 opening 2 as my favorite. So yeah, but it's just that I just liked season 3 part 2 opening better.
I don't know. I'm on the fence. I mean, I honestly really like season 1 opening 2 song. The song wise, I mean, the visual is still pretty cool, but it's just it's so underrated, under the radar, because it was overshadowed by the first opening.
Yeah, right.
First opening is pretty damn awesome. I actually looked at it before we got to this podcast, and I was like, man, this shit got me so hyped. I'm about to watch it again. I got ordered in a Blu-ray. But I'll say my favorite Sasageo is great too. It's a great comeback after like we waited for anime viewer. I think you had to wait 5 years.
4 years. God damn,
4 years. That's still long. That's like, oh my god, where's the new anime, man?
I
But
know,
yeah,
but
it's a great.
I'm like, I don't know.
um,
But thank God, Wood Studio realized, like, let's jump right ahead. Let's not do what we did with season 2. I don't think
I guess
anybody
I would
can do
just.
that again.
I guess I would just go first opening ever. I'll go first opening because it did set you off to welcome to this awesome anime that if you gave up anime, well, this is a way to get your ass back up to it because that's what happened to me. I gave up anime and then I saw this. I was like, oh my god, it's America.
Especially now, like, it's like, is it Naruto let you down? Yes. Did Bleach let you down? Yes.
Yes, yes. Wow.
Did One Piece
Yeah,
let you
actually,
down?
well,
Oh,
those
are
endless
you
fillers
hurt?
and
You? Damn, bro.
if you look at the
Well,
if you look at the
I'm kind of joking. I just figured I'd just continue it on, but I think many people
what,
got fed up
what
with the anime for One Piece at that time.
well, yeah, you got endless fillers, and then you got well, not endless fillers, but they got a lot of fillers, and you got episode, which I remember vividly. Episode be lasting like 21 minutes without commercials, without openings and endings and previews. You could take literally 6 minutes to show you last time on One Piece, and then you finally get the episode. I remembered it vividly. It was a Marine 4 arc. I remember. I'm like, man, they're showing a lot of things that just happened beforehand. It's already like I'm like looking at the video player. It's like 8 minutes in because it's after the opening, and then it finally played the episode. The title card finally came up. I'm like, oh, I thought they skipped the title card and saved it at the very end. Never mind. This
No,
shit is so long.
here's my thing about the One Piece anime. It's like after a certain point, like people are just walking down hallways, and you have like OST hype in the back. I'm like,
Yeah,
can we just get to the end of the hallway? It's not.
yeah. They
I
sure
think
dry out the hell out of Buggies and his crew for filler space.
you know. Let's see. Those long hallway thing made me end up hating the stepping sounds of One Piece because it's like I heard them because I heard all
What
those.
about?
You know how those slow walks they used to do in the anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, I remember now. Yeah.
See, due to that, it's like I ended up hating the sound of One Piece steps. It's like, no, that sound. I've heard it so many times. No, enough. Stop. Stop.
Actually, I remember that. Yeah, I remember. There was another sound effect I got tired of, but I don't think it came from One Piece. I think it came from another anime altogether. It was like very poor sound effect. I'm like, why did you use that sound effect for this anime? I forget which anime. I want to say Hitman Reborn, but I don't remember now. I gotta remember. But anyway, the point is, I'll go with the first opening just because it sets you off to the. It's like welcome to the world of Attack on Titan. Even though that's the world that you do not want to be in, but still, welcome to the world of Attack on Titan. By the way, does junior high count?
The fun fact, I've actually never seen all of Junior High, so I can't really say that.
Wait, who didn't see junior high?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you haven't seen it? I've seen it because I needed to kill time.
How was it?
It was fine for what it is. You know, it's funny if you read. It's funny because this actually spoils the anime viewers because this came before season 2. So there was a scene where Alberto managed to actually the more I think about it, the series is actually kind of funny and because they actually parody a lot of things, which I didn't even catch on until I actually watched the anime later on, especially season 2 content. The one notable one was the whole like where Rhino was like trying to encourage Berta to ask Ani to a date, and in one scene he was like, "Hey Ani, Berta wanted to talk to you about something," huh? And Berta was like, "What? Rhino, are we doing this right here now?" Yes. Remember, it's the exact same. Ima Kokora. Ah, I was like, wait a minute, that's the exact same thing. How I missed that reference? I thought that was kind of cool, but yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, you could check it out. You know, if you have spare time, you could check it out. You probably notice all the references and things. It's like, huh, that's actually kind of clever. I didn't even realize that.
volumes with the fake previews. Those fake previews are fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see,
But
and,
like,
and the plus side is, let's see, the episodes are only half as long as the regular episode. So go on.
What are you talking about? Junior High one?
Yeah, they're like 15 minutes or something.
Oh,
Are they? I thought they're no. I don't think they're 15 minutes. I think they're just short by a minute. I could have sworn they were like 20 minutes long. You sure you're not mistaken with the other anime? Yeah, like there's one scene they would, it was supposed to be made for spoiler-tacular, I guess you could call it, where Ani and Berto bought a mask, and each mask represent their form pretty much. So if you caught on that Berto is the colossal titan, it's like, did this anime spoil me before season 2 aired? So yeah, that really happened. Yeah, but hey, it's safe now. You can see it. But anyway, yeah, I'll still say first opening, first season, first opening. Yeah, I'll pick that as my number one.
Okay, which now brings us over to the last phase of the podcast, which is
finally. Sorry.
Sorry, tired, guys.
No pun intended, by the way, Blue. No pun intended. Okay, this is actually kind of cool. It's the final season expectations, which revolves around the new studio, the teaser trailer, and how many episodes it'll probably have. So here's the thing: I actually didn't keep up with the news for season 4 when it came out. So when I saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, it's not my wit." Huh. Okay. That's. I mean, I heard about probably Wit wasn't gonna do it, but then I was like, I don't know. That's kind of risking it, don't you think, for a series like Attack on Titan? And then I saw the teaser, and as soon as I saw the teaser, I was like, oh. Like, it looked beautiful. I don't know if I can say. See, it's too early to say if it matches like what, because again, it's just a teaser. But from what I saw, what Mappa did, what that teaser was great. As far as like my expectations go for Mappa, they got a lot of shoes to fill. That's for sure. Like, I think they're aware how big Attack on Titan is. There's a reason why they didn't make an announcement if it was coming out in October. I mean, initially that's what it was, but now it's like, maybe we should hold off on this. Maybe we should hold off on this because we know that's a big deal. But what about you guys? What was your thoughts like when you found out that Mappa was going to be the one handling the final season?
Well, I was a little bit concerned because they have their ups and downs, and they do have ups too. Thankfully, some anime not recently made. Some recent one I think they just chill back and just like do the not low tier, but mid tier guys. But like those high tier ones, you see it from. I think the high tier came from like Dororo. That one was like more pretty well animated for the most part. So it's like, all right, I'm just hoping to do good because 7 days didn't happen, and my God, it was a tragedy. It was hell. It was straight up hell. By season 3, season 3, 7 Deadly Sin happened.
Out of curiosity, was it like when Studio Poyot did Tokyo Ghoul Route A?
Okay.
Okay.
See, when Tokyo
you go.
looked decent.
First season was pretty enjoyable, like for what it is. I will prefer to do the same way that the manga did, but it was still cool. So when Route A came,
oh my God,
the presentation wise, especially the soundtrack is amazing, but the animation is actually pretty good. Still not the same tone as the manga, but it's still good for what it is. But man, the storyboard was crap. And the worst part is it was supposed to be much better than what we've seen, but it got scrapped because I don't know. It just got scrapped. You can actually see the all scrap blueprint that Ishida had in mind with the book, the guidebook, which I actually have in my hand. Well, not currently, but I do own it. Like you can actually see all the ideas that he could have done. But
which was so disappointing. Oh, could you imagine what we would have gotten with that?
Yeah, but like I said, the soundtrack was awesome.
Yeah, the soundtrack's amazing.
Yeah, the soundtrack was like the best part of it. The best part of the anime is the soundtrack. Yeah, but when we talk about Seven Deadly Sins, ooh
Yeah.
no. Let's just say the opening, not the opening. Let's just say the trailer for Attack on Titan season 4, which we'll discuss soon. That 2 minute in trailer has way more budget than the entire season of season 3 of Seven Deadly Sins.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Pretty much, that's the answer. That's if you wanted to know how bad it is, that's your answer. I mean, hell, I could link you to the best fight ever, which should have been the best fight ever in terms of the franchise, at least.
You mean
Oh,
Escanor versus Meliodas?
yes, that one. My God. Oh my God.
What was that?
I don't know. I even the fan animation was better. That's just
Saying a lot.
I mean, I'm not insulting fan animation. They can be credible, but you gotta understand.
Okay,
Fan
so
animation is
I take it the Seven Deadly Sins was like they ruined perhaps one of the most hyped up fights.
yes.
That's in a similar situation to how Studio Pierrot ruined the six-tailed Naruto versus Pain fight.
Well, I mean, again, the Pain versus that infamous fight. Again, the animation is
It was like an
technically
artistic choice.
like the animation for that fight is technically amazing, but it's just the way how to utilize it that was just WTF at its maximum level. Just because they made everybody into tiny Toon, Looney Tune, same difference, Looney Tune style. It was like, what is going on? It has such a great lighting, it has a great feel, like the movement is feel loose. Maybe too loose when Pain says my pain is greater than yours, but you get my drift. I was like, what the hell is going on? What's happening? So yeah, that's what happened with that infamous episode. With Seven Deadly Sins, they just didn't have time or budget, so everything looked crap. Like there's a frame where Escanar actually blocked the attack, but he blocked it with the same frame where he get pushed away, and Meliodas didn't even do anything yet, and then he finally do the kick, and then he pushed him away. Same frame. So they didn't make a brand new frame of him getting pushed back by a kick. They kept that frame, and then he gets pushed back. It's so bad. Oh my God.
My God.
So with that anime in mind, I got super scared when I look at Attack on Titan. Like, no, please,
Like,
not
please
the
don't do
last
this.
season.
Please don't.
Like, please. It was like I already have One Punch Man. I mean, it wasn't bad to be honest, but you know, it's very hard to capture the same thing that Madhouse did. Come on, guys, it's super hard.
Let's hope Madhouse does season 3.
We'll see. But you know, the idea is the staff. But still, point is, if you think it was gonna capture season 1 style, ooh no, it's super hard. But I give a prop for season 2. They tried. They tried. It's not a mess. Trust me, it's not a mess. Maybe in backstory, sure, but they did the best. I gotta give them prop for that. Seven Deadly Sins, ooh. Maybe season 4 would do better. Maybe. Huge maybe. So with those two in mind, Attack on Titan was definitely a lot of people's fear factor. Like, oh my God, that means Attack on Titan season 4 is doomed. Doom.
Especially the content we have in the manga. It was like really like at the stage.
Why would you change? Yeah, it was like, why would you change this stuff? Why would you change? No. I mean, again, Mappa had a good history with good content. The only question is, I feel like some of the anime they have agreed to work on are going to get what's the term I'm looking for? Not backlash. Overlook maybe? The fact that they're gonna give all the budget, the time, the best workers to do on Attack on Titan, and then they got other anime to do on it. Like, hey, given like a mid tier level. But sir, this one is from Shonen Jump and it's new, and they want to push it into the next Kimetsu no Yaiba. Hey, but we got Attack on Titan, and it's very important to everybody in the world, and I literally mean the world.
Literally.
Right, sir. So you know, Mappa is doing Jujutsu Kaisen.
Mhm.
I hope they do have the staff ready for them, because Attack on Titan does seem like the foreground, does seem like the main priority to work on.
It
But
does.
who knows? You, Blue Star, what about you?
Well, I actually didn't know that they changed studios, to be honest.
They did.
Let's see, I just thought they were just, granted, perhaps the trailer animation's art style should have been a sign. But granted, I thought they were just changing the animation style a little bit because it's just to show that, yeah, we're in a time skip, but now it's a different studio. I didn't realize it was the same ones who did season 3 of Seven Deadly Sins. And again, I haven't really watched season 3 of Seven Deadly Sins. So I can't
Oh.
I mean, I still haven't really fully watched season 2 yet.
Whoa, that is saying something. Wait, what? Season 2?
I don't know, I just became a sort of manga reader for Seven Deadly Sins, and also not to mention some of the later arcs were kind of boring me, but anyway. My expectations for season 4,
When it came to Mappa, we're mainly just talking about the new studio.
well, I just didn't really know what the studio, I just didn't really know that they're changing, but I'm not sure how they're gonna adapt or pace the episodes. I'm assuming they're gonna try and do at least a full-on 25, though.
I honestly, I think 25 might be. Well, we'll get to that. But
I mean, granted, the manga's still ongoing technically, so
I mean, it's ending. That's the thing. We're getting close to wrapping up.
understanding the time skip starts at chapter 91, isn't it? Wasn't it
It's
90?
91. It's 91 because 90 was where they're out.
Currently in like over 40 chapters. I'm not sure if that's enough I'm not sure if all of that, if like 40 chapters can be crammed into one
I mean,
season.
you could definitely. This is what I think. What you could do is take chapter 91 and 92 and make that one episode. I could see that being a thing.
Yeah. Well, granted, I am a bit curious to see, because the manga's still ongoing, and depending on how long that's going to be, would it means that instead of like 25 episodes, we have 30? The only thing is like, the only thing I'm curious about is the confirmed number count, because I'm going to be curious and learn how they're going to pace some of these things, because, let's see, will they try and make the first half completely Marley, or will they do like the first 10 episodes Marley, and then next 15, let's see, the War for Paradise? I know, I'm just really curious. I'm also wondering if like Horizon will do the openings again, or will they do their own
Let me see.
thing? So yeah, I don't know. But anyway, that's my brief expectations, because, well, I was a bit ignorant about the studio changing. I know, I need to follow more news on anime.
We all are. We all are.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to me, like again, I wasn't aware that we had a dude, and this was like right before I saw the season 4 trailer. So when I heard that they were switching over, I was like, "Whoa, wait, really?" I was like, at the stage we're at in the manga with everything that's happening, like we're now switching. So I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Let me see the trailer to see exactly, get a good idea. And one of the things I remembered actually was that some of the animes that I've seen that they've done okay, they did do Hajime no Ippo back in 2014. I remember that. They did that one. Oh, they did Yuri on Ice too. I didn't realize that. This one's a little underrated, but it's Rage of the Bahamut. That's actually one series that I did watch. I'm not gonna say I know everything that they've done, but I know like bits and pieces of what they've done. So they've had some decent stuff. I know currently they're doing God of High School. That's one that's currently out at the moment.
I believe that's a web comic, isn't it?
Yep.
Awesome.
It's the same with the Tower of God. That's a webtoon comic too.
Okay.
I will say I was like cautious, but I was like curious. I was like, okay, so you know what? I'm curious as to how they're gonna do it, but I'm also cautious because it's like it's coming off from Wed for the first 3 seasons. It's like, how are you guys gonna handle it? Which I think is a good way for us to jump into the teaser. So, actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and go right in. So, how did you guys feel about the teaser trailer for final
Well,
season.
Well, I have my best way
aren't
to
there
answer.
aren't there like two trailers for season 4 now?
Is there two? I thought it was only one.
Okay, that's two. Well, technically, one is the teaser, the other one is the actual trailer. Teaser was just Mika says, "Please, Aaron, stay safe" or something like that, and then you just see the front the cover for volume cover 28. It was that one, but the real trailer one, I think the best way I could put it without pretty much saying it is Mount Rushmore. It's the best way I could put it. I have Mount Rushmore after seeing the trailer. that's, that's the best way to put it because animation it matters, yes. Presentation, visuals, it matters, yes. But the soundtrack and everything about it matters a lot as well. This one was definitely no exception because when you see that, it was unbelievable. The soundtrack, thank God they're bringing back um Sawano, which pretty much did all the soundtrack for the.
Back. That's a good thing.
That was like the best news ever. Like I was like clapping so damn loud that my next door neighbor could hear it, and and they got one more composer with them as well, and he did that one, and it sounds unbelievably amazing. It sounds like some final epic stuff that it needs to be. It has to feel final. It has to feel finale. It just feels that way. And the whole presentation and the whole visual looks really great because it's like it actually reminisces to the manga more than
that's the big thing I noticed too. Like when I looked at the show, I'm like, it actually mirrors the manga pretty well from an artistic standpoint.
exactly. And with the whole animation as well, highly promising. It feel like we just move with people and just go here. Like, hey, there you go. You do it here now. Don't bother us. We're doing Finland Saga. Okay, thank you. Bye. Or Great Pretender, whatever it's called again. What that's going on right now. Leave us alone. You go Mappa now. But yeah, the whole thing looks it feels epic, and it has to be epic because this is an epic series. Epic scale, epic warfare. Everything has to feel epic. Just looking at this trailer, I was like, yeah, Mappa's dead serious to make this freaking anime to be like.
I mean, again, there's a reason why they took out the final season from the October schedule. It's like, maybe it's best we should just not announce a release date.
Did they announce the release date?
No, originally they had it set for October, but I think last week they pulled it back. So I was like, I know people are going to be upset by that, but I think it's a good thing that they're doing that.
It's like you could look at two ways. One, you want to end the year that's so shitty and end it with a bright future. You start the season now. Well, that's October. Or you want this shitty year to end and start a new year with a great fresh look that we could rebound from all the shit that we have gone through. Then start season 3 in January. That's the way I see it.
Actually, it wouldn't make. I gotta see it playing out like that because I remember. I think this was yesterday that they had they announced that they were gonna have like a free streaming thing, like that was gonna build up to the final season. I think it was 1 month was gonna be season 1, and then 2 and 3 was in December. So what I've seen is that some people are predicting that maybe it's set in for January, which honestly wouldn't surprise me.
That'll be great. Yeah.
Well, whatever the time is set, I hope it's soon.
Oh man, but yeah, the season 4 trailer, awesome. If like I said, if you have that renewed interest because of how excellent the season 3 second half was, this will carry forward wonderfully for you guys. Mm-hmm. Oh man, reading the manga and yeah, you could say the trailer was spoily, but
anyways,
my God.
The final bits of it,
I'd say this trailer felt like a cinematic trailer for a movie or something.
It did.
Yeah, as they think, hey, it's coming in theaters. I thought it was going to come on TV. It's like, no, it's coming in TVs. That's how great it looks. So
all I know is Kaji Yuki's gonna have the time of his life as Eren because
oh my god, he's gonna sell the shit out of that character when the time comes. Oh god.
Everyone here, I'm just gonna say this right now. Like season 4 will define Aaron as probably one of the best protagonists in anime and manga history. I'm
I
saying
think
that,
you're
like,
over exaggerating, but hey, that's just me. Go on.
I mean, look,
What?
it's one
Whenever
thing
you feel,
with Kaji Yuki.
oh god, whatever you think you're prepared for, it's really, no, you're not. You're not. Even I wasn't prepared. I thought I was like, hey, maybe I think I know what's gonna happen. Maybe, just maybe. Nope, everything goes different direction for the better too. Because you would think it's like those typical formulaic, but no, holy shit, no. I'm not even gonna go anywhere. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna tell you anything. Even the trailer, as much as the concept is showing off from like later chapters, like maybe 10 chapters later, it still gets you blood pumping just to see what's gonna happen here.
It really does.
I don't think I've seen any plot twists and turns as I have in the last arc I have in any other manga in a very long time, I will admit.
It's not
Yeah.
just that,
Oh god.
but here's the crazy thing. Like Isayama's subtle to detail is it's mind blowing. Because if you look back at like the early stuff, it's crazy.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm not even gonna talk about that scene. That when that episode comes, where it's pretty much the basement episode, the storytelling part, it's gonna be like that, but like 10 times like hard hitting into your brain, to your freaking I don't even know what the brain part is. Basically, whatever the brain part that just tax that I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. All I'm saying is shit's gonna blow your mind.
It is. I mean, in terms of the episode, Ken, I know Blue Star mentioned his thoughts on that. I'll say this: I don't know if 25 episodes is going to be enough. I really don't.
Maybe 26.
26?
Who
I
knows?
feel
Maybe
like 26.
I'm starting to wonder if they're going to do 30, but go on, go.
Well,
Go.
actually, no. I just thought about this. Like, and I'm not spoiling. Like, arc names aren't really spoiling anything. But the Marley arc, from what I remember, had the same length as like the Female Titan arc, the Trust arc, and the Clash of the Titans arc, which was 12ish episodes, I think. So I think the first arc will be fine for that. It's the War for Paradise where I'm like, how are y'all gonna tackle that?
It all depends how they're gonna pace it. Hopefully, if they do it well, maybe it could be more. Maybe like 36, but we'll see. It really depends where the manga ends at. Like, what is it in the next
I
chapter?
feel like we're
Two
getting close
chapters?
to the ending, though. Like, I really do.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, we could do once it ends, we could tally up. Okay, let's predict how long this would take for the anime to cover the entire final arc.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, my bet is 26.
26?
Yeah, that's my bet.
Okay,
What's your bet, Blue Star?
more than 26.
More than 26. I'm gonna say even 34.
Okay.
34. The lowest, maybe 30.
Hey, it's possible.
I'll say this just to wrap everything up. As far as season 3 is concerned, from a storytelling perspective, best season.
Yes. 2 thumbs up.
Mm-hmm. And aside from that, guys, that's actually pretty much it. BlueStarSaber, it was really great to have you guys on board for a podcast, especially bringing Sparta back because
Yes. When you talk about Tag of Time, like, oh, I'm in. Like,
Yes, it was great.
Like,
So I go.
that was alright. I was just saying, I'm like, well, I mean, I'm busy with other things, trying to work things out. But we're talking about Tag of Time, season 3. Oh, I'm in. That's how
you were like,
But yeah, it's really great to be back, honestly. And I'm hoping I come back very soon for other things, like not just your podcast, but like on my behalf with my own channel, coming back with a lot of new content. I'm almost ready to go back, like completely discuss a lot of other things. It'd be interesting to see, the new content I'm gonna deliver very soon. So look forward to that.
I look forward to it.
It was also enjoyable doing podcasts, though. Do not do it so late in your time again, Lucky G. I've actually lost an entire night's worth of sleep because of
I'm
this.
sorry, Blue.
Do not do this again.
I mean, if it comes with the Naruto anniversary podcast, just saying that might happen again.
Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Because if you want chatting, I don't think she would do that either.
That's true. With that being said, you guys, that pretty much comes to the end of this podcast for Attack on Titan Season 3. Can't wait for Season 4 and
Yeah.
Kaji Yuki. It's gonna have the time of their life.
Oh my god.
I'm Lucky G7.
Sparda3g, about to go in and watch the trailer again.
BlueStarSaber, about to go to bed for little hours I can.
And we will catch you guys until the final season comes out. Peace.